welcome back, everybody, for part 2 of the one shot, which has turned into a bit of a 2-shot, I suppose. With us today, we've got Fergus, the halfling monk. We've got Landris, the human fighter, and Thorin, the hill dwarf ranger. You guys have taken on some mercenary work, I suppose. And why don't you sort of fill us in with a little bit of a previously on Dungeons and Dragons style recap as to what happened last session?
We were aiming to go to a brewery to do a bit of work expanding their cellar. It turns out that their cellar had been slightly already expanded into some sort of layer of monstrous rats. Just like and
what is that?
Monstrous rat.
I feel terrible now for making you fight these things last week.
Hey, this one's not monstrous. This one's Daisy. She's lovely. She likes raspberries.
That's a normal sized rat. The ones you were fighting were a bit bigger.
They were huge, and they'd already eaten a gnome and left its leg just to kind of taunt us. And then we decided this might be a good place to stop and have some drinks. So we all stopped and had a few drinks. And anyone else want to carry on the story?
I still don't know what that was you were holding.
That was a rat.
Why is it hairless?
Yeah, it's a genetic thing. Double Rex. Got some hairs, but they're very small.
Oh, right. So is that one of your pets?
Yeah. What?
It wasn't just an elaborately staged prop that we brought in just for this session.
She happened along at the right time, though.
What would you have done if Tom had made us fight a dragon in the first part of this?
Here's my pet hairless dragon.
Got one of them too. There we go. Just another rat.
Wow, the hair grows quick. That's crazy. So then we met a bunch of rats that we killed.
Sorry, Bod.
I know it happens.
Fergus and Landris had to chill out because they fought considerably at closer quarters than I did, staying back shooting with my bow and arrow. And then we found some big mental gnome drill thing and some money. And then we ventured into the back corner where, hilariously, we worked out a puzzle. By the time we got to the end of it, having chucked rats on it, jumped over it, and Landris just casually walked through it by tapping a stick on the floor.
That was really old school D&D, sort of proper dungeon crawling, inching forward, tapping everything with like a 10-foot pole. And hey, you all managed to get past it. It was a mosaic puzzle. There was a riddle on the wall that Thorin was able to read. And yes, like you said, you sort of realized, that's how it works. When you'd all managed to get the other side of the mosaic. And yeah, so we
two open doors, right?
Yeah, we left things at a nice sort of interval. Yes, you guys are now some way into this unknown territory next to the cellar of the Wizard's Tower Brewery Company. You've long left Davidov Spoonie, the gnome head brewer. He's one floor above you guys, trying to make up a batch of new ale, which I think he's going to name Landris.
Yes, he is.
So good they named it twice.
He has no idea what's going on beneath his brewery, it would seem. And I think, you guys have pretty much nailed the recap there. So I think what I'll do is I'll flip the camera and show you when last we left our heroes. I zoom in.
There's a massive can of Southall Bitter behind one of those doors.
Yeah, that's not me being. That's not one of Davidov's numbers, unfortunately. Okay, so just as a quick recap, that you're in a 5 foot wide corridor. You're looking down it like this. It's 5 feet wide. It's probably about 7 feet high, and there's an ever so slight decline going down. You wouldn't. It's not massively noticeable, but you can feel it's. You might have to lean back a little bit as you walk, as you go down this way. 7 feet high, approximately. You can see 2 doors. There's one which Fergus is sort of next to at the end of this corridor. There is another one here. Both of these are wooden doors. They look fairly sturdy, but the corridor itself is made of a kind of stone or very core masonry. And behind you, of course, is this mosaic. And I imagine that Landris is kind of very, very close to where Thorin is. You guys are sort of technically spread out across this 15 feet here.
Are both the doors open?
This one is ever so slightly ajar by maybe an inch or so. This one's shut, the one you're in front of. Thorin, what is your passive perception?
14.
14, which is pretty good. I think you've got the best passive perception out of everyone. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Ours is
you're,
30.
even though you're about 6 flagons deep, you're still sort of taken aware of your what's your surroundings, and you can feel there's some sort of in between. If you think of the wooden door has kind of slats, not slats, but where it's not one solid piece of well, you can feel a bit of heat emanating from behind this door, and every so often there's a fraction of a couple of millimeters gap underneath the door, probably not even big enough for a real rat to scurry underneath, but every so often you feel a sort of warm breeze coming from underneath the door, and maybe even the ever so slight flicker of light flicker out from under this door this way. Of course, remember, Landris and Fergus do not have dark vision like you, so you guys might well notice the light that is ever so slightly coming from underneath this door, because of course you're in pitch black. Do either of you have a torch? Did you jump out? I'm not sure if you.
I had a torch with me. I imagine one hand was on the longbow, the other hand was on the torch. So I think I've still got it in hand.
Cool, yeah, because otherwise you would have been walking across that mosaic in pitch black, which would have made things a hell of a lot harder. So yeah, you've got a torch in one hand, a longbow in the other. I imagine that when you threw Fergus, you maybe strapped your longbow back to your shoulder, held the torch in one hand, and launched Fergus with the other hand. So yeah, so in that case, you can see this area is all lit up for you guys because of Landris's torch.
Can we hear anything coming from behind either door?
Make an investigation check, Thorin.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
Your first roll of the first.
That's what you get throwing 2 20s last time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have
I had
-2 for
bouncy,
investigation, so I scored -1 for that.
Yeah, you can't hear anything.
Okay. Maybe
Both rooms sound empty to you.
I'm deaf.
That's about as bad as it gets, isn't it?
You can't hear anything. It seems safe. There's probably nothing in either room.
I'd like to go for the door that's in front of me, just because.
Yeah.
it's in
This
front-
one here.
Yeah, and it's already slightly open, so maybe
Yeah.
I can have a bit of a peek.
Okay. Do you want to
Is peeking a thing in Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, you certainly can.
You just
But if you
go in-
imagine you for real are peeking through a door, you will only be able to see a fraction of what you'd be able to see if you open the door, of course.
But I guess like if you kind of open the door a little bit, just enough to kind of just look
Yeah.
around the corner. have a bit of a
Absolutely.
glance.
Yep.
It might be pitch black. Maybe I can't see anything.
So do you want to nudge the door open a couple of inches and peer
That's
around it?
I'd like to do,
Okay.
please.
Cool. So if we, if I physically open that door a little bit, let me see. Let's put everyone's favourite halfling back here. If the door is like this, you can see in this room desk of sorts.
Hey, food.
With a couple of, you can see, you'd just about be able to see this, I think. And you can see a well,
Okay.
a stone sort of circular well, about 5 feet wide, and there is a turning device with rope wrapped around it and a handle, and you'd also be able to see a wooden crate on the floor that is here. You'd just about be able to see that, yeah, there's a glint of silver on this table.
Okay.
Odd bits and pieces you can't quite tell from here. It appears to be 2 crates, one slightly bigger than the other, and a sizable well in front of you. If you were to look immediately around here, which I think you'd be able to see if you were peering around the corner, you'd see there is another sort of that's the sort of now the universal symbol for a kind of sconce or torch on the wall there.
I mean, now I've started investigating this room. Are we okay to continue to just go in here, or
Yeah.
shall I go in?
Do you want to climb down the well, or shall I throw you down?
I'm going to put him down. I'm going to grab him by his leg and just dip him in.
Are you all going? Do you want to?
I'll stay in the corridor. I'm going to go in by myself because I don't trust anyone else. I'm not surprised that I feel this way.
You go
Okay,
to
so
the private check.
At the minute, this door is sort of, I imagine, kind of 45 degrees.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something behind the door. Right, I'm sneaking in.
Okay, so
Going in.
I'm going to open it the full way. And now you can see the room in its entirety.
I'm going to stay back because I know how noisy my armor is. But I am going to pass the torch forward
Yep.
to Thorin to see if he can try and give more light into the room.
Can I not go and grab this other torch and light the torch off it?
Yeah, you absolutely could. So if you go in here,
I guess once I light everything up, then I mean I
once
can
you
see the
light
whole
this up,
room.
yeah, it's going to all illuminate.
I can
the room.
see the whole room now, right? So there's not going
Once this is lit, I think you would, yeah. And then you can see, once you light that, you can see some more kind of rubble that sort of started to collapse. This corner of the room has started to collapse. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And also, sort of along here, you can see a single bed of sorts. That's like this. Yeah. Are you? Did you sort of tiptoe into here?
I tiptoed in. Yep.
Okay. And okay, make a make an investigation check.
Investigation check. 10 plus. What am I looking at? Investigation. Remember these one day. 10. It's just 10.
10. Sure.
Yep.
You can see that the well looks. You're stood right in front of the well, so you can see that it looks like it hasn't been used in a while. The bed that you're over here looks pretty moth-eaten.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as if whoever was staying here has popped out for a quick brew. It looks like it's been maybe like this untouched for a year or so.
Okay. So in that case, I'm going to maybe gesture to the other two to come forwards. I'm going to pick the torch up off the wall.
Maybe with a hand around the corner like this.
Yeah, and then I'm going to pick the torch up off the wall, and as Thorin's got a torch now.
Thorin doesn't need a torch.
Take it back.
I just light the torch off it as they come in. If they want
Okay, so you're lighting this one.
Assuming they're doing that, but I don't know.
And do you guys want to come forward?
Yeah.
Okay, Thorin's first. Thorin, you going in?
Yeah, I'll go in and I'll stand in front of the bed.
Okay, so you're like here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand in front of the well.
How did you enter the room?
Cartwheeling, no doubt.
I stumbled a bit because of all the beer, and I stubbed my toe on the bed as I came in, and it kind of scraped on the floor and made a bit of a noise.
I'm going to have walked in and said, "What's all this then?" Not all quiet, quite loud, quite abrupt.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask both of you to have both of you make a stealth check.
Oh, I've got disadvantage with this, haven't I?
Yes, you do.
16.
16. Despite stubbing your toe, Thorin, you sort of kick this corner post of this bed, and you sort of swear silently in Dwarvish, very keen for the others not to hear your pain, but you do it in a relatively quiet fashion.
So I got a 12 minus 1 is 11, and a 10 minus 1 is 9, so 9.
You strut in with the confidence of a man who fears nothing, and you squeeze past Fergus, and you asked him, "What's all this then?" And your voice sort of echoes, ripples a little bit along the corridor. This then, this then, this then. And also you can hear it sort of echoing a bit down the well. This then, this then, this then. And after a split second, you can hear something else that starts to echo. It sounds... This isn't a giant rat. I don't think this is something that Bod has just out of shot that he's going to suddenly show us. This, you can hear a scraping, a scuttling, almost like the sound of twigs being dragged over wet cobbles. Not just one stick, about tens of sticks, maybe hundreds of sticks. Mm-hmm. And the sound is coming from the well, and it's getting louder and louder and louder.
I'm gonna be an idiot and peer over the well.
Everybody roll for initiative.
Why am I always the closest to the thing that's going to try and kill me?
3.
Is that Thorin with another 3?
Yeah.
Do things get added on or taken away on initiative? Is it just the number?
It's your dexterity. It's your dexterity modifier. So it's probably going to, for you, it's probably going to be +4, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Sorry, I was 6.
So 3 + 6. Okay, cool.
8. No, 6. I got 6 as well.
Okay. Callum, what did you get?
7 minus 1, so 6.
You all got 6. No way.
we all at the same time. Wow.
Yeah, I imagine all 3 of you, therefore, just sort of lean in over this well. Let me see. Is that better? That might be a bit better. Okay, this is really interesting because some of you have got the same number in initiative. The way I rule this is, out of all of you, on a tiebreaker, who has the highest dexterity modifier? I'm guessing that's Fergus.
Me.
I'm +3.
Minus 1.
Okay, so on a tiebreak, when it comes to reacting, I'm going to use this as a tiebreaker situation for who can react quickest, considering you all rolled the same on your dexterity. So that's going to be Fergus, Thorin, and Landris in that order. Okay. Wow, I've never seen that before, where the entire party rolls the same in initiative. That's mad. So, Fergus, as you peer over the side of the well, about to answer Landris's question to what's going on, you suddenly hear this scuttling of sorts, this scraping of twigs against wet cobbles, and bursting out of the well straight in front of you, you can see a centipede, but a giant centipede, a centipede the size of a, I haven't thought of a clever dog pun here, but this is a centipede the size of a Rottweiler, the size of a Labrador. It's bigger than you, and it scuttles out of the well and pops out here right in front of you. And the sound, you realise, was its hundreds of legs crawling up the side of the well. And Landris, in surprise, you can still hear more scuttling deeper down the well as a second one of these horrible, massive centipedes pops out of the well this side over here. The centipedes rolled higher than a 6, so they are going first. So,
out of curiosity, centipedes, are they like, just your average foe that we could take on, or is it potentially running away time?
Only you can answer that question. What would Fergus do? Fergus laughs in the face of centipedes, doesn't he?
I'm not sure I particularly laugh so much, but I mean, I am brave.
Brave enough to run away, is that right?
Brave traits. Brave Sir Robin ran away. Anyway.
Okay, so unfortunately the centipedes are gonna go first, and let me see. Now this one in theory, I think saw Fergus peering over the side of the well. It rushes at you with its 2 kind of pincers flailing, and it tries to take a big chunk of halfling. Ooh, that is a 23. Does that beat your armor class?
My armor class 17, yeah.
That is a bite. It bites you straight on the side of the neck, your bare neck, and you feel the pincers clamp down, and you take 4 points of piercing damage. So you can take that off of your hit point total. And you pull back in shock and surprise as you feel this the clamping of these pincers pinch down, but then suddenly you feel something else. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Poisonous or something. Ugh. Right, so Constitution. I'm gonna get
so
plus
a Constitution saving throw. If we look at a character sheet, is going to be on this saving throw section here.
Yeah. So D20 plus that number.
Yes, that's correct. D20 plus the modifier.
Oh, no. 2.
2 plus.
No, okay, 1.
Oh,
plus
1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, a natural 1. You rolled a natural 1. You've got so much. It's ironic because you sort of poison yourself with liquor all the time. You think you'd be quite sustainable to taking some, but you can feel, you pull away and then you almost stagger. Your feet go woozy as you can feel some horrible burning sensation around this wound on your neck, and you realise that this centipede, a normal sized centipede, probably would only be a small nick on the finger, but this thing is the size of an angry dog. And you take
no more damage.
Oh goodness.
This is a 1.
You take 7 points of poison damage.
Do I put that on my normal hit points?
Yes, you take that off of your regular hit points.
My regular hit points that is already less than 7?
That's correct. You're now down to 0 hit points. You fall unconscious.
My God. That's the last time I look in a well.
You are now unconscious. You slump to the floor in a heap. You are not dead, but you are certainly not in a good place. The way this is going to work, because this is the first time such a situation has happened, is on your next turn, if you're still unconscious, you will have to make a death saving throw. Now, if you look at your character sheet, we have a section next to your hit dice here, which is 3 circles, successes and failures. Successes are good, failures are bad. On your next turn in combat, you will roll a straight up D20 die roll. If it is a natural 1, what are the odds of that? You've already just rolled a natural 1, so you don't need to worry about that. That won't happen. Lightning doesn't strike twice in D&D. If you roll a natural 1, Callum's laughing. If you roll a natural 1, that counts as 2 failures. But if you roll a natural 20, you regain 1 hit point and you're no longer unconscious. If you roll a 2 to a 9, that counts as 1 failure. If you roll a 10 to a 19, that counts as 1 success. If you roll 3 successes, you are no longer in this death state. If you roll 3 failures, your character will die.
So Tom pulls no punches when teaching D&D.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
Well,
but the good news is that some of you guys can try and help Fergus on your turn. Instead of attacking a creature, you can try and I'll allow you to make a medicine check to try and sustain him.
Okay.
Or you can gamble and let Fergus roll, and who knows, he might roll above a. Now, this is also really worth noting because at the end of the session, I think all of you have inspiration. Now, it's worth noting that you can spend your inspiration, whenever you want to re-roll a D20. You could do this to re-roll a death saving throw. You could re-roll this in initiative, in combat, for any kind of saving throw.
I could have re-rolled it 5 minutes ago to have not got that one.
That's very true. I tell you what, for the Constitution saving throw, now I've warned you, do you want to re-roll it? Do you want to spend your inspiration?
It seems sensible to spend it then. I mean, you think? I didn't know that.
Considering I didn't think things would escalate quite this quickly, and I will let you spend your inspiration if you like to re-roll your Constitution saving throw. But this is the last time I will let any of these. Normally I don't rewind in D&D, but in fairness, I completely forgot that you guys are, of course, learning this stuff for the first time.
That was a thing. Okay, if that's all right with you, then I'll
absolutely, yeah.
I'll use it now rather than.
So it's another re-roll your D20.
Okay. Come on.
You'll be adding 1 to this result.
Yep, a whole 1.
This is to combat the giant centipede's
venom. It's already bitten me, and now I don't want it to poison me so much that I die.
Yeah.
5.
So 6.
No, 4 so far.
Oh, right, okay.
So,
unfortunately...
Am I in the same position?
Unfortunately, that is not enough to fend off the poison. You are... So we're as we were. Unfortunately, you slump to the ground.
And now I've used my roll.
You are unconscious. It is now this centipede's turn.
Oh boy!
And it's got its eyes. This one's ever so slightly bigger than this one, and it's got its eyes on an ever so slightly bigger prize. It can see Landris in front of it, and it can almost see its own reflection in Landris's shiny armor. And it lunges forward and clamps its jaws around Landris's armor. Landris, you don't feel a thing. It did not beat your armor class because I rolled a 9. You stand there, and it with the chest puffed out, and it just clamps its jaws against. It tries to clamp its jaws against the metal of your steel. What scale mail is it you're wearing?
The noisy one, scale mail. Yeah.
Yeah, it just clamps around the. It tries to clamp on the armor, but its jaws just sort of slide off the metallic surface, and it cannot get a grip.
I've realised why I'm getting bad rolls. I've been rolling a d12.
Oh no! Are you serious? Oh no! That is 12. Oh wow! The d12 is this one. You want the d20, mate?
Oh man, you're kidding.
Oh no! Right. Okay. I will let you roll.
No. What can you do? It's fine. I've got it now. I'll get a 20. I'll get myself out of this problem.
Okay, well, it is now your turn in combat. Now, of course, you are what the technical term is prone, because you're prone on the ground. You're unconscious. All you're doing here is you're rolling a d20, and this is going to be a death saving throw. So you just want it to be 10 and above.
Okay.
And please do roll the d20, not the d12.
Now it's a d20. Well, they shouldn't look so similar. Look. Different. They've got 12 the same numbers on as well. So.
Oh, no.
Got different colours. Should have got different colours, but no. Saved money, got all the same colour.
Okay.
Come on.
Come on, Fergus. Oh, I don't.
It's not a 1, is it?
It's a 2.
Okay, that's fine. It's not fine, but it's better than a 1. That's colour in one of the circles for
anything to that number.
No, it's a straight up D20 roll.
Okay, so that's a fail.
So that counts as one failure. So if you colour that in,
Yep, done it.
or mark it, take it. If you're doing a digital PDF, just check that box.
I checked.
Okay, Thorin, it is your turn. You've seen two of these great beasts claw their way out of this well. One of them, they both tried to attack your buddies. Landris still stood proud. Fergus, unfortunately, is a sack of spuds on the floor. What do you want to do?
I'm wondering if I can use my hunting trap to chuck it down and then use my roll to go over and see if I can help Fergus.
So, I think that if you want to set your trap, that would probably be one action.
Okay, I'm going to go see what I can do to help Fergus then.
Okay, cool. So if you move, for example, 5 feet, you'd be able to help Fergus, or you can move 10 feet to help Fergus.
Yeah, I'll go there. Yeah, where you've got me now.
Yep.
And what are my options to try and help?
Okay, so what you can do is, if you'd like to, so what you can do is you can try and administer some first aid, and this will, if you're successful with it, this is a medicine check. So you're going to roll a d20, and this will be a medicine check. Don't do it yet. Let me just clarify. If you are successful in beating a medicine check, you need to roll higher than a 10.
Okay.
That's so your whatever you roll plus your modifier, you need to beat 10.
Okay.
If you can do that, you will stabilize Fergus, which means he will scrub out his failure. So he'll be on 0 hit points, but he will no longer be in a situation where he has to roll for death saving throws. But he will still remain unconscious, which means that if creatures try to attack him, he's defenseless, because he's not trying to actively dodge these things.
Yeah. Would it be better then for me and Landris to try and get rid of these monsters before they can attack again then?
What's etiquette on as an unconscious person? Am I allowed to still make suggestions to the party on possible actions?
Well, I think that's a really good question. I think that to a certain extent that would probably be classed as meta gaming, because in theory your character is unconscious.
Yeah.
You might have previously discussed, if I go down, just leave me, or if I go down, don't you dare leave me. I don't know what you guys have got as a sort of a moral code. I think that you're obviously allies, so you'd probably try and help each other. But the way I rule, the way I run my bad guys, of course, in this case, giant centipedes are bad guys. They, in their mind, they are looking for a meal. So I try to run them as accurately as they would.
I think we maybe then need to try and get them before they attack again. If I don't attack, that means Landris has to kill them both, which isn't possible, right? So I feel like, Landris, you should try and take one on, and I'll try and take the other.
Are you sure you don't want me to attack the top right ones to try and get both their attention? Because then at least even if I take some hits, you can... No, change my mind. No, I think you're right. I think we should both try and take them on, but we'll both go for the same one at the same time.
Yeah, and then if we take that one in the middle, on the right of the well, then if the one on the left attacks, he'll attack you, and you've got your armor.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that then. Okay, I'm gonna step forward one, so I'm in between the monster and the bed.
So you were here.
Yeah. So go down one there.
Yep.
So I'm right in his line of sight.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if my drill spear would be a better weapon at this point than my 2 short swords. What would give me a better chance here, do you think?
So, if my memory is correct, your You can either use the drill spear, which is a cool thing you picked up last session, which would lower its armor class. But I can tell you that drill spear works if you're tackling something that's wearing armor that has effectively artificially increased its armor.
Okay.
Like, for example, if you were to attack a human-like character wearing armor like Landris.
Okay, I'm going to use my short swords then, and I'm going to go all guns blazing for that one right in front of me.
Okie dokie. Roll that d20.
Am I adding anything to this, or is it just a flat roll?
So it's going to be the attack roll with your short swords. Now, unfortunately, I think this is your strength, which is I think is +0.
I have an attack bonus of +2 for my short swords.
Oh, sorry, +2, because you are of course proficient. Yep. Okay.
Oh, 17. 17 plus 2, 19.
That is 19. That is a hit. You hit this thing with all of your fury as it attack your buddy. Fergus, you swing your sword down and you roll 1d6 +0, I think, because your strength is +0.
I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1. Okay. In such anger, you manage to clip it. You nick 10 of its legs off, and it certainly turns its attention away from Fergus for a split second. But yeah, you've certainly done some damage to it. Would you like to move?
No, I'm going to stay there. Unless, can I drag Fergus out of the way with my movement?
I think if you wanted to try and drag something, I think that would be your action instead of your attack with your sword.
And I can't stand in the same space as him, can I?
No, you cannot share you cannot end your turn in the same square as anything else.
I'll stay where I am then, because I've just attacked it and it knows where I am, so I'll stay there.
Yep. Okay. After your turn, it is Landris. Landris, you've just seen all of the above, and this one sort of bounce off of your armor.
I'm going to turn my attention to the one that attacked Fergus.
This one here? Yep.
Yep. And I'm going to try and go straight down the centre, or at least cut it in half, use my giant greatsword.
Okie dokie. Roll a d20.
We get 16 plus 4 is a non-natural 20.
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Unfortunately, that's not a natural 20. We know Jim is Mr. Natural 20. Yes, that is a hit. You go for it with your greatsword.
2d6 plus 2.
Come on.
Ooh. 8 plus 2 is 10.
Yes.
You chop it in half.
Ooh.
And it sort of, with a splatter. Yep. There are now 2 giant centipedes. No, I'm just kidding. They
I believed you then.
This sucker is now toast.
Yes.
Any movement for you, Landris?
I am going to stay where I am to almost cushion myself between Fergus and the other centipede.
You are a generous ally. Awesome. Okay, so
can you leave that first centipede where it's lying dead? I've got stuff to do to it once we're done.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave it there.
Thank you.
If you want to snap off like a tiny clip of its, yep, you can do that.
You don't want to know.
Okay, so I was just moving it just to let you guys know that, of course, it was no longer a threat in combat. So, unfortunately, we're back up to the top, and it is the other centipede's turn. Landris, that giant centipede has tried to attack you once. It's just seen you make centipede mincemeat out of its mate. It's going to try and go for you a second time.
Okie dokie.
I am heavily invested.
It has rolled a 9. Does that beat your armor class?
It does not.
Yes.
It just can't get through your scale mail. desperately, its mandibles are really going for it, but it can't. All it's doing is clanking against that scale mail. Fergus, over to you.
Okay.
Straight up D20 roll.
Come on,
D20, not a 12.
Okay, checking it. It says it's got a 20 on it. That's cool. Gonna put the face up right here. What's going on? That's a 4.
Oh,
That is your second failure.
oh.
Fergus.
Thorin, it's now your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna move up and then left. 1, 2, 3.
Up, 1, 2, 3, like here.
Exactly there.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna get my 2 short swords out and go to town and try and pierce both of its eyes.
Sure. I will. I don't want to tell you what you can and can't do, but if you were to say end your turn here, you could instead fire an arrow at it. You don't have to get up close and personal.
No, I'm feeling pretty angry, and I want to see its dead eyes turn as I finish it.
Absolutely. Okay. You are going to go for your short sword again. Hey, you certainly weakened this one in order to let your buddy Landris finish it off. So roll a d20 and add your modifier, which is +2.
16.
16 plus 16 total, right?
Yeah.
Is a hit. Roll a d6.
3 plus nothing. 3.
3. You chop off. Sorry, what were you aiming for?
I'm trying to pierce both of its eyes, like.
You certainly get one of them, and it makes a horrible sort of hissing noise at you as it turns away its attention away from Landris and suddenly looks at you. Any more movement for you?
No, I'm staying right there.
Okay, Landris, over to you.
I'm in two minds. I really want to finish it off, but at the same time, I don't want to risk leaving it down to Fergus's roll.
Yeah.
He has been rolling pretty naff, it has to be said.
Yeah,
Even with D20.
I reckon you help Fergus now.
Landris would help Fergus, so I'm going to help Fergus.
Okie dokie. You did, after all, only let's not forget, 10 minutes ago threw him over a potentially deadly mosaic trap. So
playfully passed.
Yeah. Okay. Make a. So your options are, because this is obviously very, very serious. Okay. Yep. You can. Make a medicine check.
Okay.
You need to beat a 10.
Beat 10.
Yeah.
I've got +1 on medicine.
Okay. So you just need a 9 or above.
I got a 17. +1 is 18.
18. Okay. You. What do you do? Do you just sort of do mouth to mouth? What are you doing here?
I don't like him that much. I go.
You give him a hearty slap around the face.
Yeah.
And Fergus, you are still unconscious, but you can rub out both of those death failures. You are no longer in a death state, but you're still unconscious. You are now what is classed as stabilized. You're on 0 hit points, but you're not in immediate death store. Okay. Landris, you have the healing touch. Any movement for you, Landris?
No, I'm going to continue to just cushion.
Sure. People will be singing songs about this for years and years to come. It is now the centipede's turn, and it has been poked in the eye by a dwarf with crazy white hair with frosty blue tips, and it lunges forward at Thorin. And it rolled. And so,
Ooh.
some of these guys are rolling almost as bad as Bod tonight. And oh wait, was that a D20 or a D12? No, it was a D12. Yeah, it lunges forward, but it's only got one eye now, so it pretty much just lunges at your shadow and doesn't get anywhere near you. Fergus, you are no longer in a death state, so you won't be doing anything. You don't need to roll any scary die rolls. Thorin, it's now your turn.
Okay, I think Landris can finish this thing off now. It's only got one eye. Is there anything that I can do to help Fergus anymore?
Now, here's the interesting thing. You guys picked your classes, which were monk, ranger, and fighter. Now, at first level, these kind of classes do not have any particular kind of spells. There are some classes that do come with entry-level spell casting abilities, and some classes, such as a cleric, have come with spells that can heal characters as an action in combat. Unfortunately, none of you have any spells to hand, so there are ways that you can gain hit points back over time, but in the 6 seconds, which in theory is how long each of these actions takes 6 seconds from a mechanical point of view in combat. In theory, it's all happening simultaneously, but from a mechanical point of view, it's 6 seconds. You in the immediacy, yeah.
Okay, let's finish it off and then we'll look after him afterwards. Now he's not in immediate danger. I'm going to stay where I am and I'm going to go. Actually, no, because my longbow's stronger. I've calmed down a bit now. I'm going to step back to. I'm going to draw my longbow and I'm going to try and finish it off with that by sending an arrow straight into its brain.
But you'll get attack on you if you do that.
If you leave its melee range, it can get an opportunity attack on you.
What, before I attack or after I attack?
Before you attack.
How
lucky do you feel? I've been rolling rubbish tonight. I say with a smile.
I mean, he'll attack me after I attack it.
So if, for example, you want to move, boom, boom, here,
yeah,
and then fire an arrow at it, as soon as you leave its melee range, before you fire the arrow, it will lunge forward and try and attack you.
Okay.
So it's a regular D20 roll that I've been doing.
Yeah.
Of course, if it's a miss, then no worries. But if it's a hit, it could hit you, and then
I won't be able to hit it, and then
it's what would Thorin do?
I think Thorin he wouldn't be thinking about this. I think he would just get his short swords out and try and finish it off. He's already taken one eye off. I think he's going to go for the other.
In which case, you haven't moved.
Okay.
So roll a d20, and you're adding 2.
17 plus 2, 19.
19 is a hit. Roll your d6.
Come on. 4.
4. Where were you aiming?
I was going for like a 2-sword head off.
The head falls off and tumbles down the well. Boom, 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 splash.
Yeah.
You are no longer in combat. You all earn 40 XP. Fergus is currently prone on the floor, stable but unconscious. Now, if you want to, now unfortunately you've already spent a hit die, but if you you don't have any spells. Thorin, after hearing the head of the second giant centipede clatter down the well and splash into the water below, make a perception check. So this isn't passive perception. This is perception. Yeah.
12.
12. You, after you sort of were running over here, in the corner of your eye, you did see some stuff on this table. There's like a couple of plates there. There's a dusty old flagon, some cutlery, and what looks like a kind of crazy arcane chemistry set of sorts. And there's a couple of glass vials. Some of them have some sort of liquid inside. Make an Arcana check.
13.
13. You can see that one of the glass vials is a kind of rosewater colour. I don't know if Thorin knows anything about crazy potions, or maybe he might have brewed his own homebrew when he was up in the Razor Mountains. But I think that roll of 13 is good enough to tell you that one of those potions, that this rose-coloured potion, you recognise to have healing qualities to it. It looks like a few dregs of a potion of healing.
Okay. I think I'm going to chuck the potion down the well and go see what I can nick off Fergus.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to go. I'm going to walk around and I'm going to give him the potion and gently stroke his hair and say, "It'll be all right."
Okay.
Fergus.
Carry me to bed.
Oh man, that was tense.
Great start.
You know, I've watched enough horror films to know you shouldn't peer down the well, but still, I did it.
And then we all rolled 6.
Yeah, that was nuts.
And that all happened because Landris walked in and went, "What security?"
Thorin, roll 2d4.
Okay. Is this for the amount of health we're given?
Yeah.
2 and 1. Ugh.
Okay. So it appears to be that this is there's only a few dregs of this, and it appears to be a common healing potion, which is 2d4 plus 2. So that was a total of, what was that, 5? 5. Fergus's eyes pop open like one of those creepy dolls, and you feel the poison sort of flush out of your system. You regain 5 hit points.
Hey, welcome back.
5 hit points.
Yeah, you're back up to 5 hit points.
I'll take it.
Since we're in a self-contained room, we now do a short rest whilst me and Landris do a bit of an investigation or something, put you on the bed and give you an hour to chill.
So if you take a short rest here, you can. The problem is that Fergus has already spent his 1 hit die. He did that after the rat fight.
Right.
So at level 1, you only start out with 1 hit die per day. Once you level up to level 2, you get 2 hit die per day. Level up to level 3, you get 3 hit die per day, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Fergus has already spent his 1 hit die, of course, and you. But if you take a short rest, it won't benefit Fergus anymore. But you can certainly investigate this room and see what's here.
Let's do that then.
I mean, for example, you could shut the door behind you, or whatever you want to do.
We'll shut the door, and I want to go check out that crate.
Okay, which one do you want to check out?
There's the more than one crate.
There's one here, a small one. Sorry, if I hold this up. small crate there. Can you see that?
I can see that, yeah.
So this is like the crazy, the crazy sort of chemistry arcana set. Some silver, a couple of silver plates, some cutlery, all very dusty, of course, covered in cobwebs. And there's a small crate here, and there's a big crate here.
He's going to take one look at that small crate, check his head, and go straight to the big crate.
Okay, so you're going over to this small crate here.
No, to the big one.
Oh, you want to go to the big one? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Make an investigation check.
+1. I got a 4. +1 is 5.
Okay. It looks like a pretty bog standard crate. It doesn't look too sturdy. It's got a lid on, but nothing out of the. It doesn't look too fancy. It just looks like a regular crate. Do you want to? It looks like there's a few sort of nails that might have started to rust a little bit that are sort of tapped the lid down.
Yeah, we'll crack it open.
Okay, how are you trying to crack it open? Do you have a crowbar or anything like that, or do you want to just sort of punch it the way you punch that barrel apart?
I am actually just going to check if I have got a crowbar.
Some of the back sort of bags, or sacks, the rucksacks that you start out with. One of them does have a crowbar.
I do not, so I'm probably going to just hit the top of it again really hard.
Okay, cool. Make an athletics check. See if you can just.
So I got 15 + 4 is 19.
Absolutely. As you punch this crate, it splinters and comes apart. As you punch it, you feel some terracotta products inside sort of smash as you smash it. You can see a receipt in there on a piece of parchment that's handwritten, and it appears to be from a company called Preddy's Pottery. There's a bunch of straw in there, and it looks like once upon a time there might have been 4 cylindrical items in here, but they no longer. They're sort of the imprint of where they once sat is still there, but the actual whatever cylinder things they were are no longer. There are also a couple of other flagons like the one on the table, but you have now effectively punched them or crushed them rather.
What does the receipt say?
The receipt is written in common.
Okay.
And it reads something along the lines of for the attention of Kizigar Longstaff, please find enclosed your order 4 times pottery or glazed towers.
I'm going to tell the others. I'm not going to admit to breaking anything, but I'm going to tell them that I found the receipt with the name Kissigar Longstaff on. Yeah.
It was addressed to Kizigar Longstaff, and it's you can see it's sort of been signed by someone, Raita Preddy.
Raita Preddy.
And the receipt sort of says it's got almost like a long broken wax seal on it that looks like it's a seal for Preddy's Pottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tell Thorin and Fergus that I think this may have been home to someone called Kissigar Longstaff. and then I'll hand them the receipt, see if they know anything about Pretty's pottery or Longstaff himself.
All of you make a history check.
17.
4.
Oh, now I get the good rolls. 14.
Jim, you rolled a 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Landris, you don't have that name means nothing to you. We're very apt since you're asking the question. Fergus, you might recognise the name Longstaff. More importantly, you'd recognise the name Longstaff isn't anything to do with beer or brewing.
Yeah.
But Thorin, I think you'd recognise the name Longstaff. There's a family, the Longstaff family. You've heard of the Longstaff family, and they are quite a well-respected family of high elves. And you probably recognise this name because you do speak Elvish as one of your languages. So at some point you must have come into contact with high elves themselves, and therefore you probably would therefore have a basic knowledge of the Longstaff family, or maybe that they were famous. Some of their generations. Let's not forget that in D&D, elves can live for a long time, like in Lord of the Rings. So some of their ancestors fought in some famous wars quite a long time ago, and on the winning side, of course. Yeah, high elves.
Okay. Should we go have a look in the other crate?
That one's right next to you, Thorin. It's just here.
Yeah. I'm going to go over and see if I can open it delicately by sliding one of my short swords into the gap between the lid and prizing it open.
Sure thing. Make, as you go over there, it's a smaller crate than the other one. It's more like the size of a kind of small chest. There are hinges to it, but if you want to try and open it, make a sleight of hand check as you insert the tip of your short sword into there and try and wriggle it about to try and.
16 plus 3, 19.
Wow, very, very delicate. You've seen the brute force of Landris, and you're keen not to make the same approach. You wriggle and pop the lid off, no problem. And you notice on the side of this box, again, there is a sort of brand, much like the brand you saw on the barrels, but this time doesn't appear to be the brand of a Spoony Sip or Wizard's Whisper. This is it's like a crest, and I think that of all of these, I think Landris would recognise this even without a die roll. Because of his background as a soldier, I think he would recognise that this is a crest of a sort of sunset horizon with a setting sun, sort of peeking over the the horizon in the background, a few rays on it, and this is the crest of the Knights of the Setting Sun. These are a sort of brotherhood of knights that are known to be allies for the Baron of Duskolovich, who is the Baron who sort of runs this barony, the area that you're in. And I think that Landris would know of the Baron of Duskolovich because he used to be a soldier himself, but he almost sort of bought his title, as it were, due to knowing the right people in the army, shall we say.
Okay.
Inside this crate, you can see there are 2 pieces of parchment in here. The crate itself is empty. It also has some straw in, as if it were used for packaging. But there are 2 pieces of parchment in here. One is another receipt, but this one is a slightly more dogged, crumpled up receipt, and this is a receipt from Emmerich's Emporium, and it is a receipt for a 1 hellhound's heart. The heart of a hellhound. And the handwritten note is addressed to Kizigar Longstaff, and it reads, "This was not easy to find or cheap. We expect results." And it is signed from Sir Quint.
Is it still in the crate?
All that's left in the crate is those 2, the receipt for the Hellhound's Heart and that handwritten note from Sir Quint.
Okay. Random. Okay, so I'm going to tell everyone else about what I've learned and say the names to see if anyone else has heard of Sir Quint.
Again, I think Landris would have heard of Sir Quint. Landris, make a history check.
Okie dokie. 12 plus history, 1, 13.
Yeah, you'd know that Sir Quint is a human member of the Knights of the Setting Sun. You'd know that he used to probably be in one of, if not your sort of regiment, a regiment that you might have known on. You'd know that he's a knight.
Okay. Do we want to investigate anything else in this room?
I want to crank the crank on the well.
Okay, make a athletics check.
11 plus 4, 15.
Yep, you use 2 hands and give it a good crank. You can hear a bucket of some sort leave the water, or the whatever the base of the well is, fills about 25 feet deep, maybe 30 feet. You can hear some sort of echoing drips. If you pull it, your strength is clearly mighty. You punch crates for breakfast, and pulling this bucket up is no problem whatsoever. When it gets to the top, it's full of very stinky water, really sort of nasty, quite sewer, stagnant water. Doesn't look like the kind of water that giant centipedes might like to live in.
Fair enough. I just wanted to know how deep it was, because it's not often you'll get a chamber with a well in it and have someone inhabit it. Especially someone who receives posts to such an address.
Well, I must on look out for any way of getting a bit more healthy. Still feeling pretty queasy, so I'm not going to get any better just sat here near this bed. So maybe we should move on.
There are, of course, 2 dead giant centipedes still that you've been clambering over. Well, cut in half. One doesn't have a head. One's head is down the well.
Yeah. Before we go, that one that's next to Fergus that attacked him.
This one here.
I'm going to go over and try and rip off one of its big claw mandible things.
Absolutely. Are you doing this for a trophy, or are you trying to do it because you want to? Why are you doing it?
I'm doing it for revenge, but I'm planning on turning it into a nice necklace to wear as a trophy.
Okay, cool. Make a sleight of hand check. I'd hate for you to slip and pierce yourself with it and suffer some poison damage.
6.
6. Okay, I'm just going to remind you at this moment that you do have inspiration. Or do you want to? It's totally up to you.
It was like such a waste to use it now, but I didn't know there was any danger when I went to rip the thing
there
off.
might not be. I mean,
the thing's dead, right?
It looks dead. It is dead.
Yeah, I'm not going to re-roll.
You're able to snap off the very tip of one of its mandibles. It looks like the size of a regular centipede's mandible, much like the size of the regular small rat's tooth that you've got. If you tell anyone, they'll think you've fought some regular sized centipedes and rats, but you know the real story.
Cool. I'm going to have a quick look under the bed before we go out the door.
Sure thing. Make an investigation check. Roll your percentile dice.
Two of them, yeah?
Yes, that's both of your D10s.
88.
88. Whoa. Okay, that's wow. Okay. Your eyes light up as you see that familiar metallic glint. The safe place to keep your money is under the bed. Roll 3d6.
6, 3, 3.
That's a total of 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
The gnome had silver pieces on his person, but under this bed you find 12 gold pieces. Whoever these were sort of kept underneath the head of the bed, sort of underneath the sort of pillow side of it.
Okay, I'm going to give 4 to Fergus and 4 to Landris, so we have 4 each.
So
there is honour among thieves. Cool. So if you add that to your GP section, that's your gold pieces.
when I watched back the first part, I felt bad that I didn't share the money that I stole off the dead gnome whilst the other two were chilling out having a beer, because I kind of forgot about they were short resting and I was still.
This pile of rubble in the corner, is that like just a pile of rubble, or is there like look like there's a hole or something?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. I rolled a 4. Do I add anything to that?
It's your investigation, so I think that would be your intelligence modifier.
So it's still a 4 then.
4. It looks like a pile of rubble. Looks pretty heavy.
Cool. I wonder.
It looks like it's part of the sort of ceiling, or it looks like there might have been another way out of this room once upon a time, but it looks pretty heavy. It's a pile of rubble.
I think I'm fed up of this room. It's only brought me frustration, confusion, and bad dice rolls and wrong dice rolls. And I've also just remembered that I've got the lucky trait, which clearly I didn't use.
No.
And it would have got me a
I'm so sorry.
roll.
Yeah. So lucky comes with being a halfling. You can re-roll ones. Did you roll a natural 1 at one point?
Yes, I think that what kicked this whole thing off was.
Oh no! And that was on
attack.
that was on your D12, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
even so, yeah, you do. You can re-roll ones. You have to take the second roll, but hey, what are the chances of you getting 2 ones in a row?
So I'm this room frustrates me and saddens me, so I now want to leave and go into a different room.
Yeah, let's go.
Moving on out.
Let's go.
Okay, so I assume you're coming out the way you went in.
Mm-hmm.
That is the
Yes.
Go out. Well, there's the well, but I assume you're.
I'm done with the well.
Who's going out first?
I'm closest, and I haven't learnt my lessons.
So you're going out first?
Yes.
Okay. Fergus, you, I assume, walk as far as the trap. Do you guys have a sort of? You've had a look here. You can see, yeah, these are 2 silver plates. You know what? You're I think that your passive perception, Thorin, would tell you that those silver plates might be worth some money if you could sell them. Maybe you could sell them for a gold piece.
Okay, let's take the plates. I quite like the glass as well, the tankard. I might try and shine that up and celebrate all of this once it's over with a pint in that.
Yep. It's sort of covered in cobwebs, but if you give it a brush with the side of your sleeve, you could clean that up. So if you write though that you've got 2 silver plates and a dusty tankard in your equipment list, is it?
Yeah.
Equipment, yeah. Yeah. And Landris, I assume you next, maybe?
Yeah, I'll go second.
Yeah. And Thorin, after quickly shoving the 2 plates in your bag, you are here.
As I walk past, I give that centipede a kick and send it off down the well.
Yeah, you use the butt of your boot, the sole of your boot to kind of, boom, 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 boom. It makes a very, very, very loud clatter and clang and a splash as it lands at the bottom. You probably spent the best part of maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes in that room sort of investigating it, you having a breather. So your torch is still lit.
Mm-hmm.
You're stood in front of a wooden door. It's shut. The other one was sort of ajar. This one is totally shut. You can feel a warm breeze coming from underneath the door, like I said. Only on occasion. It comes and goes. If you were to stand there for well, you've sort of and you had the door open here, so you might have felt like a warm breeze sort of come and go.
Is it coming and going like in time with, I don't know, like breathing?
No, it doesn't seem regular.
Okay,
It
right.
seems to
Oh, sod it. I'm turning the handle. Come on, let's not mess about with these things.
it seems to be locked.
Okay, I'm done. I'm going home.
When you turn the handle, you could feel that the handle was metallic, and you could feel some really quite warm. The handle felt very warm. Not almost to the point where it almost burning.
Okay.
So,
So,
I think there's a fire going on behind there. Is that
yeah,
like
it
the
seems
flickering light?
hot. What do you think? Do you think we should leave it and maybe head back up and collect our reward, or
Well, having seen the film
Any-
Backdraft, you don't open a hot-handled door, do you? It lets out a vacuum of air and the fire goes.
I saw that play. Or if someone fancies putting the door through, I'll be right way behind you.
Go on then.
Okay, I'll step aside. I'll swap places with you.
Okay, Landris. Now you're in front of the door.
Should we step back into the room in case there is a?
Yeah, let's like not make a big deal of it. Let's not say, but let's just the two of us look at each other and I'm like, yeah, exactly. Just do.
Both Fergus and Thorin make a stealth check.
What's wrong with my dice?
9.
It's dexterity, isn't it?
Yeah.
So +4, so I've got 6.
Yeah, you both try and tiptoe back, but both of you sort of giggle as you go. And Landris noticed both of you tiptoe away, giggling.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know if that would impact what he's going to do or not.
Too busy slapping himself in the face, giving himself a pep talk, knowing full well that door has got no chance, as he lifts his leg and puts his boot straight to the handle.
Make an athletics check to see if you can kick down the door.
This is either going to be amazing or really bad. It is a 19 plus 4, 23.
Oh my goodness.
You smash a Landris style silhouette in the door, like you're Scooby-Doo running through like one of those Hanna-Barbera cartoons where it's just a silhouette of where Landris used to be. And yeah, that door boom, gets knocked down. There is no sort of gush of flames like you might expect, but you're still holding a torch, right?
No, I dropped it. It's in the other room still.
Ah, okay. So
I've got a torch though.
Okay, so this Thorin, you're Fergus, you're holding the torch, right?
Yes.
So okay, you'd be able to see some stuff. So the
Maybe we can come forward now that there hasn't been a huge ball of flame.
Landris is alive, it must be okay.
Yeah, I'll step forward.
This room, in parts, is sort of lit by the occasional, indeed, flames. Some of it, there's an intense smell of burning in sections of it, and you can see that part of the room is on smouldering in flames. Almost in front of you, there is I should show you this to the camera. That's sort of a drop-down view of a bookcase. The end nearest you is sort of charred, as though part of it has been almost set on fire. You can see in this corner there is again more. Can you see that? Kind of like Arcana style wizarding sort of gubbins going on here. More things that appear to be blackened. Some sacks here with overspilling stuff. A lot of this stuff is sort of covered in cobwebs. Again, quite dusty. You can see there's one random book that's fallen on the floor here.
I'm probably going to Landris style is going to have kicked the door open, looked towards the other guys, and sort of smiled as if to say, "See no danger."
Yeah. Okay.
Look what I did.
Yeah. I did.
So I think that from your line of sight, you'd be able to see this. Again, you'd see some things here, some more sort of like torches here. None of them are lit though, but there is sort of the occasional thing that's almost like burnt out on the floor. This is like a tiny little desk for one. There's a burnt chair there. Sorry, that one's there. There's another one here. And then in this, would you be able to see? Yeah, you'd just about be able to see from where you are to here. I think this bookcase is sort of blocking what you can see here. And there's last of all, another sort of desk here. So walking into here, yeah, you can smell the odor of burnt wood. You can smell dust as you walk through, or as you sort of walk through here. You almost walk through a head height sort of cobwebs. You know, like when you walk through a cobweb and you go, ah, and it's just, you can feel it all over your skin.
Should we go in?
Yes. I'm concerned. I don't want to say it again. Should I go in first?
I'm cautious as well because as I've kicked it in, I can see all these burnt items, and we know that this room has been lighting up.
Yeah. Well, we think. Well. Are there any actual flames? Like, or is it just kind of smouldering stuff?
Are you sort of peering like here, like in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
thinking about going in up to the bookshelf, peering around to see if there's anything dangerous on the other end of that bookshelf, and if it looks relatively safe, I do want to investigate that kind of the chemistry set stuff.
Sure. So do you want to sort of
health
sneak in past Landris?
Yeah, let's do a bit of sneaky.
And do you want to sort of go this way?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So as you come in here, you've still got a torch, but now I think the room is lit well enough that you can see without your torch, really.
Okay.
And you can see as you reach here, the bookcase looks to be some a bunch of stuff here that's written. If you were to, make an investigation check.
Am I investigating the bookcase?
Just in general, yeah. As you walk past.
General investigation check. Casual reading. Now I get the 20.
Natural 20.
Yes. I've just read all the books. So much information, know everything.
As you walk past this bookshelf, you can't but help run your finger across every single spine, and you've got a sort of the kind of memory that once you read a spine of a book, you never forget it. Some of them are in common. Some of these are written in that weird Elvish that Thorin was reading earlier. You can also see sort of suspended above the bookcase as you look up, as you crane your neck up to look, a series of cobwebs. And as you look up, you can see the cobwebs get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's something sitting inside the cobwebs. And it's the size of a giant rat. And you realize that, hang on a minute, that is a giant rat sitting in the cobwebs. And it's sort of been spun, and it's sat looking dead as the ones you killed, sitting in the cobwebs.
Okay. It's a fire spider. I'm gonna stick with my plan, and that is to just peek. Like I'm pointing at this, like you can see what I'm pointing at, but yeah, and then like peek, so I'm looking to the bottom left-hand corner.
This corner here.
Area, because yeah, we haven't. You said we couldn't see that area. So
yeah, well, I think that from your line of sight, the books and everything. So just to clarify, you're looking in this corner here, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing what else is there. Particularly looking for spider-shaped objects.
I don't know why you'd be looking for that, but yeah, you can see as you peer around here, another desk like this, a couple of barrels, a desk. And this room is probably about 8 feet tall, maybe a bit taller. Just out of interest, Landris, how tall are you?
I'd say he's above average. I'd say he's about. We'll go sort of 6'3".
6'3". Okay, yeah. So I mean, you've kicked down the door, so you wouldn't, hit your head on this ceiling or anything like that. But for Fergus as a halfling, it's a tall ceiling. Fergus, you can see in this corner cobwebs, lots and lots of cobwebs. As you peer around the corner, you can hear something whisper. I can hear you. I can hear your heart beating faster and faster.
Oh.
And in the corner, you can see, in the web, you can see a rat, size of your the rats that you've been killing, easy peasy. And then something causes a shadow over the rat. And something from the ceiling comes down.
Disco ball.
It is a spider.
Spider.
Clarification. That was the size of the rat. This is the size of the spider.
Whoa.
Oh.
This spider it is pretty much scraping the ceiling, head to toe. It lands here, clinging to the side of the wall.
Good luck, Fergus.
And everybody roll for initiative.
I'm going to close what's left of the door.
I think the hinges and maybe 2 inches of wood are still on the door.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I've rolled. I'm fine with the roll.
Still leave me in there. I'm going to close the door.
Fergus, this is up to you, Fergus. You just need to Benny Hill and run around that bookshelf and just try and dodge it.
I roll.
What did you guys roll?
14 plus 3, so 17.
7.
It's better than 6. And Landris?
Too busy celebrating. I've rolled a 0.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
The Guild of Rolling Zeros.
Unfortunately, Landris, you are last in initiative. 0. That's crazy. Okay. Thorin, for argument's sake, I'm going to say that you're sort of stood here.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go into the room How far away can I shoot my arrow from? Can I shoot the length of that room?
That's a really good question. Let's just, for example, move 10 and then say 15.
And then I was going to go behind that book.
This one here, yep. That would be 20 feet of movement. So at the minute you are 5, 10, 15, 20, well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 feet away. You have a longbow, correct?
Yep, longbow.
A longbow, I believe you can shoot up to 80 feet away.
Okay, great.
And you can shoot it up to 320 feet away, but with disadvantage.
Cool.
However, I have never, ever seen combat where the battle map is 320 feet.
Yeah.
But for purposes here, yeah, you can definitely try and shoot it with an arrow.
Cool. I'm going to draw my longbow then, and I'm going to try and shoot an arrow right into the middle of its head there.
Okie dokie. Roll a d20.
11 plus 5, yeah, so
11 plus 5 for 16?
16, yeah. 11 plus 5, 16.
16 is a hit.
Okay, so now I get to roll my d8
Plus 3.
3. Okay, I've got 6. So 3 plus 3, 6.
Okay, that's a hit. And yeah, you can see it. You were aiming for its
Right in the middle of its head there, right where the eyes are.
Yeah, that was a hit. It sort of blinks with its other 5 eyes. I'm not sure how many eyes spiders have. But yeah, you certainly hit it, and it lets out a hiss of anger. And it's no longer looking at Fergus. Now it's looking at you. Any more movement for you? I think you've got 5 feet of movement left.
I'm happy where I am.
Okay.
And,
It is now.
Would I block? No, I don't block anyone. I'll stay there.
It is now the giant spider's turn. The spider shuffles. It clamps hold of the wall like this and sort of climbs along the wall like this. 5, 10, 15, and then moves. It lands. Boom, and then goes 20, 25. Here, all of its remaining eyes blink as one. This spider sort of almost breathe in and then let out a burst of webbing, much like I don't know, let's say Peter Parker, like that. And this webbing comes out, and it's on fire. It's a flammable piece of webbing that flies through the air.
Told you, I said it was a fire spider, but everyone's like, no, there's no such thing as fire spider.
And it shoots this webbing, spits this webbing at Thorin. That's a 14. Does a 14 hit your armor class?
My armor class is 14.
That is a hit. So you are restrained by flaming webbing. While restrained in this way, you're going to take fire damage at the start of your turn. Now, what restrained means is your movement speed becomes 0, and any attack rolls against a creature that is restrained get to roll with advantage because you can't move, because you can't dodge. So you're sort of stuck in place by this sticky, flammable webbing. Similarly, if you want to attack anything while restrained, you have to roll with disadvantage because you can't quite move your bow in the free way that you would were you completely free. Also, if you have to make dexterity saving throws, which is of course to do with you moving around, that's with disadvantage too. But the important thing is you can't move, and you are a slightly easier target for anything that wants to try and attack you. Now, as an action, when it comes to your turn, I'll explain what you can do to try and get out of this fire webbing. But it is now Fergus's turn. Fergus, for a happy moment, you can't see the spider.
A lot of me, the majority of me, wants to just keep it that way. And either just stay put or leave. Because I've already been hit. And basically, my experience is if I get hit one more time, I'm a goner. At the same time, you know, my friend is now covered in flaming goo. Thing is, I can't like jump out and attack and then jump behind something again, because if I do that, then I'll go back out of melee range and then I'll get a shot on me, even though I could say I was out of sight 'cause I'm behind the book.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest some things to you. And by no means you do whatever you want to do, but just in case you're unsure, yes, you could attack by coming this way around the bookcase, either going into melee range. Of course, this thing has a much bigger melee range because it's a bigger target, or attack it from a distance by staying a safe distance away. If you want to try and hack at the flaming webbing that is around Thorin, of course, you'd be aiming for the webbing. You wouldn't be trying to hit Thorin. If the webbing has an armor class as well that you can try and break, if you want to try and attack that, thus freeing Thorin, that is an option you can do. But if you'd rather attack the spider, then of course at the minute you could attack the spider.
What do you think, folks? Should I do some spider attacking? I'm concerned about my health already. Or should I go try to rescue Thorin?
I think I'm alright. I've got all my health still. I don't think it'll take out my health in one go, will it? And we've still got Landris to come in and do his thing.
I'm going to get right in the way. I'm just going to stand right in front of it.
How much health have you got?
I've got 5.
Okay.
I could stand. I could climb onto the bookshelf and hit the spider from above.
I think if you want to climb the bookshelf,
that would be a move. And that's full action.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you can do a decent acrobatics check, I'll say that you can use half your movement to climb up onto the bookshelf.
What about pushing the bookshelf onto the spider?
Ooh.
I mean, I'm good at acrobatics. I don't think that would come under strength or something, would it? Or
yeah, if you want to push it, it would be an athletics check. This is a 15-foot bookcase full of books.
My athletics ability is +0. So acrobatics is +6. I might climb onto the bookshelf then.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so I'll say that you can move. You can spend. Okay, make a quick acrobatics check.
8 + 6. 14.
Okay, cool. Yep. So you've spent half of your movement. So your movement is 25. So that would be 12.5. So. Okay, in D&D the rule is I think normally everything rounds down.
Okay.
Or is it round up? I can't remember. Either way, it's always the same. I'll say you've still got. Okay, I'll say you've still got 15 feet of movement left. You're on top of the bookshelf.
There, I'm going to jab my quarterstaff right through one of those beady little eyes.
Okie dokie, roll that D20.
First D20. Do I add anything to this? Sorry,
yes, it's going to be your, I think it's +6 for you.
The dexterity, yeah, great.
Yeah, because it's your, technically it's a monk weapon. This is a monk move.
Yeah.
You scuttled up that bookcase like nobody's business.
Oh, back to bad rolls again. So that was 4 + 6, 10.
rolled a 10. Okay, unfortunately, your quarterstaff doesn't get its armor class. Sorry, my mistake. I thought you hit it for 10 points of damage. You swing with your quarterstaff, but the bookshelf is a little bit wobbly, and at the last second you sort of doubt yourself and you swing and a miss. However, you do still have your second attack. As a monk, you can try and hurl a punch or a kick at it, or try and poke it in the eye, or whatever you want to do.
So this is my D20 roll.
D20 again, yep. And again, it's +6.
So that'll take me to the 20. So I got 17 plus 6.
Nice, dirty 20. Okay. Your unarmored strike is... what are you doing? Are you trying to punch it, kick it?
I'm stamping. Thinking like I'm on a bookshelf. How tall is the bookshelf and how tall is the spider?
There's just enough room for you to sort of crouch on top of the bookshelf.
Okay, yeah, so maybe I'm like kind of on all fours almost, so I am kind of punching, like doing like a hammer punch.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I need to roll this D6.
This is a D4. It's a D4 plus 4, I think.
Plus 4. That's this one. Pyramid. D4 plus 4. 3. 7.
7 points of punchy halfling damage. Okay. As you punch it, and it certainly feels like you're punching a a huge, massive spider. For a second, one of its eyes, all 5 of its eyes, sort of turn to up to this shadowy area above the bookcase, and for a horrible moment, you share eye contact with this spider. Any more movement for you?
Yes, I think I'll leave now. So I've used half. What if I was to just jump off back to where I was on the bookshelf?
It would get an opportunity attack because you'd be leaving its melee range.
It's focused on me, and Landris is about to attack it anyway, so...
Yeah, I will. I'll stay put then.
Okay. That's what Fergus would do. Okay, after Fergus, it is Landris.
I am going to charge straight in, right up in front of it.
So I think you can go something like 5, 10, 15, 20 here.
Yep.
Okay, you run in screaming.
It will be screaming, yeah.
I assume with your great sword sort of above your head.
No, I've got it low. I'm going to go up.
Oh, nice. That's the Landris way. Okay, roll that D20.
That's 11 plus 4 is 15.
15 is a hit.
Sweet. That's 2d6 plus 2. I got 10 plus 2 is 12.
Oh, nice.
12.
Finish him.
That is... Okay, any more movement for you?
Still alive.
Uh-oh. No. What? No, Landris would stay there.
Fergus, out the corner of your eye, what is your passive perception?
13.
In the corner of your eye, after having punched this thing, you feel quite confident up there in the shadows, but you can see something is still moving in this webbing area here.
Yeah.
The rat is still sort of... The rat's moving. It shouldn't be moving, but it is moving. And you can see what looks like a sort of shadow moving as one across the room of this weird laboratory of sorts. And it looks a bit like a small army of little spiders.
I thought it was going to be a good thing.
They move sort of across the wall. 10, 15, 20. They seem to be following Mama Spider. It is now Thorin's turn. Thorin, you are restrained in this webbing that's on fire, and at the start of your turn, you take some fire damage.
Okay.
You take 3 points of fire damage.
Okay. Down to 9.
Okay, so you take that off of your hit points.
Yeah.
And it's your turn. Now, you can try and attack this spider if you want, but you'd have to do so with disadvantage. Or you can try and attack the webbing that has restrained you. Or you could try and just use your sheer strength to burst out of it.
If I try and burst out, or can I then attack afterwards? Would that count as a movement, or would it count as an action?
That is your action if you want to try and physically.
Okay. I'm going to attack the spider then.
Okay, sure. So you've got. Imagine you're sort of you're tied with your hands are tied, but you can just about sort of do a weird and try and fire your bow. It's a bit awkward, but you're rolling with disadvantage. So you're rolling 2 d20s, and you take the lower of those two numbers.
Okay, 11. And I still get to add my normal.
You do, yep.
Cool. So 11 plus 5, 16.
16 is a hit.
Okay, now I'm on D8. 6 plus 3 is a 9.
9, okay. As you strike an awkward arrow, it hits this thing in well, where were you aiming?
I was going straight for the middle of the remaining eyes again.
Absolutely. You hit it clean, bullseye, spider's eye, and this thing sort of rears up like an angry horse. And when it lands back down, boom, the Fergus, you feel the bookshelf sort of rumble a little bit. And this thing looks like it's horrible spider goo is dribbling out of the wound. It looks really, really on its last legs. It has 8 of them, but on its last legs. It is now the spider's turn, and it is going to try with its last ounce of energy. Its jaws are going to try and go for the first big tasty morsel in its sight, and that is Landris. And it's going to try and bite Landris, try and get some much needed energy. It rolled a 5. I was nearly on the 15 there. It was a 5. 5 is not enough to hit, unfortunately. Again, your armor, Landris, has just withheld everything tonight. You should be getting commission for that, because that's wherever you go. That your smithy is doing pretty good. This thing is clearly so near death's door. Its jaws can't even penetrate your armor.
So this is where I think it's odd. If I just stay there like a lemon, it doesn't attack me. But if I try to leave, it's like, oh, where do you think you're going?
Yeah, it's a mechanical thing rather than necessarily a thematical thing. But yeah.
So I'm just gonna. So it's kind of on the way out, isn't it?
It looks really bloodied. And it's really weak. It could barely clamp its jaws around Landris. It's like when a dog doesn't bite your hand, it sort of just playfully sort of. It was almost like that, but this thing was trying to bite Landris, but it just physically couldn't.
These I'm thinking about these little baby spiders now. How does that work mechanically with ranged attacks?
So they are what's called a swarm of spiders, and if you want to try and aim any kind of attack at it, you aim at the swarm itself. So
Okay.
it's no different to trying to hit, for example, a giant rat or the spider. It has an armor class. The swarm itself has an armor class, and you would take a few of them out if on a hit.
Okay. So I'm thinking maybe I'll actually, rather than continuing to bash this guy who's on the way out and someone else will deal with it. Oh, hang on. The spider's the next to move, isn't it? After me.
After you, it is Landris.
Okay, so maybe Landris would be able to take care of the spider anyway. So I might deal with the baby spiders behind them, which they can't reach yet.
They wouldn't even be able to see those spiders because
Yeah.
there's a great big hoffing mama spider in the way.
I'm gonna use a dart. I'm gonna throw a dart at the swarm of spiders.
Okie dokie. So that's a D20 die roll.
D20 die roll coming up.
And you'll be adding 6 to this.
I rolled an 11, so that's 17.
That is a hit.
And I now roll.
That's a D4 plus 4.
Plus 4. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 points. Wow.
Yeah, the dart's gone and it's like hit a load of spiders and it's like stuck in the wall and there's like 6 baby spiders all through the dart like that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, yeah, I imagine it's a bit like, Moses parting the sea, the Red Sea, and you've just, there's a gap in this swarm of spiders.
It's spider kebab. You can go there.
Yeah.
Post it on the fire.
Okay. Any movement for you, Fergus?
No, I think I'm relatively safe here, so I'll stay where I am.
Okay. After Fergus, it is Landris.
Cool. So I'm going to continue with the great sword, just another straight attack into the giant spider.
Sure thing. It's a D20.
What is the rule when it is a dice that is hovering on the side of the dish?
Do you mean if a die is cocked?
Yeah.
My rule is you re-roll it.
Okay.
I do that, but you hopefully your honesty will pay off.
It could have been a 20, so...
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah, no, my honesty is definitely going to bite me. 11 plus 4, so 15.
15 is a hit.
And then we get 6 plus 2 is 8.
And you swipe down with your sword?
Yeah, straight down.
Straight down. As you do, all 8 of the legs sag as this thing crumples down. And this spider breathes its last as the eyes all sort of glaze over. Mama spider is gone, but you can still hear some rustling in the background and Bod throwing darts.
I'm just playing darts and eating crisps.
She's taking it easy up there.
It's now the. Oh, do you want to make any movement?
Yeah, I would have moved backwards towards Thorin and stood next to him in his web.
Here?
The other side.
Here?
Yeah, not much attention would have been paid to the actual other noises.
Sure. Obviously, because this thing is now dead, moving out of its melee range is no big deal. It is now the swarm's turn. It's going to move 5 feet up here, and then it's going to climb 5 feet up the bookcase, and it is going to try and The swarm of spiders climbs over the bookcase and tries to death by 100 bites go for the halfling.
I've been bitten enough, to be fair.
That is...
I don't like the silences that he does. Yeah. He freaks me out.
It's as I add it up.
That is bites.
That is a 21.
Oh.
Okay, so that's gone through my armor.
That is a hit, I'm afraid. And that is going to be... You feel a whole bunch of tiny little regular sized spiders crawl all over your flesh, and they all sort of bite down. Dung, 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 dung. And you take 3 points.
Close.
3 points of piercing damage as the swarm crawls all over you. Thorin, it's your turn. You are still trapped, restrained. The fire web is still burning, and you take 5 points of flame fire damage.
Just me and Thorin both going, get it off me, get it off me.
The mother spider is dead. This thing is slowly burning you to death.
Okay. I reckon between Landris and Fergus, they can see off the rest of those little spiders. So I'm going to try and fight my way out of the web using my short swords to smash it off me.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Make an attack roll. Yeah, so you can either use your strength to try and burst out of the webbing, or you can try and attack it with your swords. So if you want to use your swords, that's a regular your regular D20, as if you were attacking it. So
I'm going to do that.
+4 to your attack roll.
9.
It's not quite enough, I'm afraid. You're still restrained. You're slowly sawing it, but it's more of you sort of trying to saw it rather than a slack and a hash.
Yeah.
You're still restrained, I'm afraid.
Okay.
You cannot move because you are restrained, so that's the end of your turn. It is now Fergus's turn.
Okay. So I'm just going to slap them off me. Or use my quarterstaff to just kind of just brush them.
Absolutely. Maybe you could use your quarterstaff like a rolling pin and try and flatten them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a D20 roll. +6.
So that's 11, so 17.
That is a hit. These things are very close to you, and you've got a big incentive to try and flatten them. So, yeah, roll. I think it's a D6 +4. Your quarterstaff.
Quarterstaff is...
Yeah, you're going to do some serious squishing damage.
Squish damage. Yeah, D6 +4. 5.
5. Yep,
it was 1 +4, so yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. You certainly take out quite a lot of them. There's only a few left, but you can still see some of the little blighters.
So I'll use my bonus attack.
You can now use if you want to punch or slap them or
slap them.
Yeah, just a sort of absolutely. Again, it's another D20. See if you can hit the last remaining few spiders.
20 plus 16 plus 6. That's sorted.
That's definitely a hit.
And then it's a
D4 +4 to see if you can slap these spiders to death.
2, so 6.
6. Okay, there is one tiny little spider left.
Come
There's one little baby spider left. Landris, it's your turn.
Do I save the dwarf or do I save the halfling?
Yeah, I think you can't save both.
It's a horrible choice, but
I almost want to do something that's going to seem really stupid but could work. So, my hand axes.
Yeah.
If I were to drop my greatsword,
Yeah.
run over to a distance where I can see both the spider and Thorin,
Yep.
could I throw one axe at one and, as a bonus action, throw the other axe?
I think because you are a fighter, I think you only get one attack on your turn. Throw an axe, you certainly can as a ranged attack. But as a fighter at level 1, I think you only get one attack. Let me just double check. Yeah, at level 1, I think you only get one attack, unfortunately. So you can only throw one of those axes.
Okay. Are the spiders classed as elevated to me, so would I be attacking with disadvantage?
I think if you were to move to here, which you could get to with your movement, you would probably be able to see the spiders to throw the hand. Oh, how you have to throw the hand axe. Is it like 20 feet? Is that how far can you throw a hand axe?
20/60, so I'm assuming 20.
Yeah, you ideally want to get within 20, don't you? So what if you were to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30? You could get into melee range and reach it there, I think.
Could I hit it with a melee attack then?
Yeah, if you can reach it. Let's see if you can do that. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, I'll keep
You're
holding my
more
great
of a
axe
melee
then.
guy, aren't you?
Well,
Yeah.
what order is everyone going to activate in? Like, isn't it best to try to rescue Thorin, and then if it's Thorin's turn next, then Thorin can try to rescue me?
I think it's
Yeah.
Is it not the spiders next?
After Landris, it's the swarm of spiders. Well,
Right.
I say swarm. There's only one little baby spider left, but it will still try and attack.
It will kill me.
So if you've got 30 feet of movement, you could move, for example, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
I'll do that and go for a great axe attack.
Really?
Great sword.
Yeah, with a big boy sword.
I'd rescue Thorin maybe because the spider is probably not even gonna. I've got 17 armor class. It might not even get through my armor. Whereas Thorin is gonna get that fire damage, isn't he?
Yeah.